Next company is called CGTrader. Recently they got an investment from Intel partners, Untitled Capital. And I would like to welcome today on stage Dalia Lašaitė, their CMO, who will talk about 3D printing. So CGTrader and 3D printing. Dalia?
Thank you, Domantas. Thank you, everyone, for coming. My name is Dalia Lašaitė. I'm head of marketing at CGTrader. Today I will speak about 3D printing. But at first, I'd like to say a few words about our company. So CGTrader is a 3D model marketplace. We help designers buy and sell 3D models, and we've been growing pretty fast over the last year. At the moment, we have around 60,000 models in our marketplace, and we have over 50,000 professional 3D designers in our community. Now, it is a great, great pleasure for us to be here, because last year, at this very conference, we met our investors, Untitled Capital, who later invested in us together with Practica Capital. So thanks so much to Login for making this connection. Today, I would like to speak about 3D printing. I will cover a little bit of the basics, and I will also tell what opportunities do you have as creative people and entrepreneurs in this very, very interesting industry. So 3D printing, for those who are not familiar, is a technology that converts a digital file into an actual physical object. A 3D printer slices the file into multiple layers and then extrudes hot plastic to build it layer by layer into an object. This is an example of 3D printer in process. And this technology is not really new. It was invented over 30 years ago, but over the last several years, the printer prices have dropped significantly. Right now, there are two main classes of 3D printers that are in the market. Consumer 3D printers, they look like this. You can put them on your desktop and prototype, play around, and create physical objects. These printers print items like these ones. So if you can see the layers of plastic. The quality is not perfect, but you can actually get a physical object done by this small 3D printer. And these printers cost around several $1,000s. Some of them are even as cheap as several $100s. So it's really becoming very, very affordable to every one of us. Now, there's another class of 3D printers which are called industrial printers. They are much more expensive, but they are also much more reliable, fast, and can cover a bigger variety of materials. So, for example, these are the items produced with industrial 3D printers. Right now, these printers can print metal, gold, ceramic, multicolor materials, and even sugar, as you see right there in the corner. And the consumers, like you and me, can access these 3D printers by uploading their model to a 3D printing service provider. These service providers then use the model to create the object and ship it directly to you. Now, this kind of access to possibility to manufacture things has really unleashed a lot of creativity in the designers. 3D printers have been used to produce a lot of things, including iPhone cases. This is a very common application of this technology. There were other uses like prosthetics. For instance, this company is making a really, really unique, beautiful prosthetics that make even breaking your leg sound appealing. There have also been more avant-garde and experimental things done. Fashion collections have been done with 3D printing. There have been a car frame has been created out of 3D printed metal. And right now there is even a house 3D printed in the Netherlands using a huge, huge 3D printer that prints plastic. So this is a wall of that house. Now, the media loves these stories. The media has been covering 3D printing for a lot of time, and 3D printing, therefore, sometimes is considered to be a bit of a hype. So, Gartner, for example, have placed 3D printer on top of their hype curve, saying that the expectations for 3D printing are much, much higher than it can actually deliver at the moment. And there is some truth to that, because in a lot of cases, especially with desktop printers, instead of your product, you might get something like this. But I want to emphasize that even though some people consider it hype, the revolution is really happening. And to tell you a few numbers, this very same Gartner says that 3D printer sales will be doubling every year. At the moment, there are around 150,000 3D printers sold already in the market. In 2017 alone, Gartner predicts that there will be over 1 million sold. And Shapeways has announced that they have printed over 1 million 3D objects over the last year. So it's really, really growing fast. And the reason it's so excited for everyone here is that it actually changes how manufacturing works. In order to create a product, you do not need a production line. You do not need a minimum quantity of certain number of products. Actually, any person like you and me can come up with a brilliant idea, design it, and make it into a breakthrough product. The logistics of this also changes quite a bit. You can distribute your product digitally, just send the file to your customer, and the manufacturing happens at the customer's location. So all these things are very exciting, and from our experience, I wanted to share some cases on how people are already taking advantage of this opportunity. And what you can do if you are interested in this technology, how you can participate in this market. So first of all, I will tell a little bit about what products work very well with 3D printing. There are 4 types of product that we have seen to work extremely well. Now, how many of you know what is this? I guess not. Okay, 1. All right. So this is actually a 3D printed toothbrush. The toothbrush works by cleaning your teeth all at once, and instead of brushing your teeth for 3 minutes, you can do it in 6 seconds. The reason it is possible is that this toothbrush is designed to fit your mouth precisely, and it can then be manufactured precisely to you. And the way it works is that you go to your dentist, you get a scan of your teeth, and then you can actually get this made especially for you. So in 3D printing, customization there is no extra cost to customization. And this enables a very, very big opportunity for a lot of products. Another class of products that are also very interesting are products that I would call instant products. An example of this is something we did at CGTrader community with our designers. For those of you who watch movies and who watch Oscar ceremonies, you probably know that Leonardo DiCaprio didn't win an Oscar this year. And a lot of people were not satisfied with that. And some designers in our community have actually created alternative Oscar to present for Leonardo DiCaprio and to recognize his achievement. And this product is actually relevant for about a week. You can engage around this product for about a week until people still talk about it. So if if you create it using any other conventional technique, it will be too late until you come out to the market with this product. We did this in 2 days, so it already could react to the media fairly rapidly and be relevant and to the point. Another class of products, which is also very interesting in 3D printing, is niche products for certain communities. For example, GoPro cameras have a lot of 3D printed accessories ready for them. So for this is a GoPro mount set, and there have been even success stories where GoPro mounts from GoPro would cost 3 times more and take 4 times more to ship to the customer than 3D printed ones. Since you don't have any cost of entry to the market, or very low cost of entry to the market, you can create products that will be used for very niche audiences. Finally, due to the nature of 3D printing, you can create some fairly impossible products. This is a Nautilus Mobius. It's a design that is very intricate, and it would be impossible to produce in any other way. So if you have created a certain product for 3D printing and you want to launch into the market, I will also go through several ways you can distribute it to your customer. First of all, the easiest way of reaching your customer in 3D printing is just sharing 3D files. For example, Porsche and Honda have actually already done that. So this is a Porsche file, Porsche model car, 3D printed. If you want to engage with your community through your products, this is one way of you can go about it. And Porsche and Honda wanted to emphasize their manufacturing process. So they put these files available for free download and made them available to the community. Now, sometimes you might have a cause you want to support, and then it makes sense to share these files as well. For example, with CGTrader designers, we did this free Ukraine badges in order to support Ukraine. So in that case, you can also reach a wide number of people by just sharing the files. Now, if you take this approach, you will probably not make money out of 3D printing. So another approach is to actually sell them on one of the platforms and monetize them that way. This is the most popular product for Valentine's Day this year on CGTrader. And if you take this road, you should actually be aware that your audience of people with 3D printers is around 150,000 people. So you have to create something that is appealing to them. They are a very interesting audience. They are actually geeks, early adopters, but this is still a fairly limited audience. So you have to bear in mind when creating your products. Now, when we started selling 3D files on CGTrader, we realized that some of the designers created something very unusual and didn't want to sell their files to the customer. For example, these are all models from our marketplace, and you can see they cost $40,000, $20,000, and other very high prices. And if you have something really unique and you don't want to share the source file of your model with the customer, there is a technology that allows you to charge per print. It works by just streaming your model to the customer's printer, and you can charge for every print they make without giving control of your source file to the customer. Now, there still is an audience of early adopters and geeks who already have a 3D printer. If you have a great idea, you might also go for a much bigger market. You can actually sell the physical products that were created using 3D printing. And as I mentioned before, it doesn't require a big investment. You just need to create a 3D model and use one of the 3D printing services to print and ship it to your customers. So this is an example of a Dutch jewelry designer. She is creating a jewelry based on old artworks and selling it to museums. If you take this approach of selling finished products, then you have to bear in mind that you are actually competing with everyone else in the market. So you have to find your niche, and she did it very successfully. Another example of selling the finished product itself is actually Makey Lab from London, who are selling 3D printed dolls. These dolls are customizable and manufactured by the company, and they are the first 3D printed toy company that has been certified to use it for children. So they have been very successful in selling these customizable dolls to geek dads, early adopter dads who are interested in innovative things and 3D printing. Now, another approach you can also take is use 3D printing for prototyping your products and then creating the actual product using conventional approach. This guy is actually a 9-year-old from the States who came up with a brilliant idea for a product. Last year in the United States, Thanksgiving holiday was on the same day as the Jewish holiday Hanukkah, and this happens very, very rarely. So he decided to combine these two symbols of these holidays, the turkey and the menorah, which holds these candles in this shape. He 3D printed this menarche, as he called him, and then went to Kickstarter to sell it using regular manufacturing methods. This kid was quite successful. He raised $42,000 on Kickstarter for this product, and he sold them to commemorate this celebration last year. Another thing you can do as an entrepreneur or someone with an idea is actually use 3D printing to test the market. There is one company in the United States have been taking this approach to producing auto parts and accessories. As you see, they have produced a custom automobile part here, and it's not very smooth. It's 3D printed on a desktop 3D printer. They have registered to eBay and other e-commerce stores and have been selling these items directly to the customers. So they were able to actually get feedback on their designs and also get the understanding of a demand on their designs from the customers. And if some of the products are successful, they were able to build it and produce it using the conventional methods. Finally, you can always go and take another approach and play with 3D printing. An engineering company in the United States heard about Tesla's founder, Elon Musk, plans to build a Hyperloop transportation system in California. Hyperloop, if you haven't heard about it, it's a tunnel where there's a new mode of transportation that allows to travel much, much faster than any of conventional methods. So they challenged their engineers to build and print this new transportation method in 24 hours. They did it. There was not really a very clear purpose why, but they did it. They have been all around the media, and they have been also very, very, it has been a very, very engaging exercise for their company. Now, just to back up my words here, we also did something special with CGTrader for login. So this is a CGTrader Loves Login iPhone case, was created last night and 3D printed today morning. And every one of you can actually download the source files for this iPhone case to have a memory of this conference. It's on the first page of CGTrader. And if you're interested, you can just download and 3D print it yourselves. So that's it from me. If you have any questions, I'm looking forward. The models, the question was, what software do we use to make the models? Our community is of professional designers, so they have a lot of software that they prefer in their work, like 3D Studio Max, Maya, Rhino, ZBrush, and similar ones. These are professional ones. If you're looking to do it as a consumer, there are also some options that are very easy to use. For instance, Tinkercad, 123 app, and a number of others.
Hello. Okay.
Yeah.
I would like to ask about materials. What prices of material packets like plastic is available for personal usage?
So it very much depends. For plastic, the prices can be fairly low. You can get a plastic, for instance, this is printed with professional plastic. The cost of the print is around 40 litas for this one. But the materials are quite cheap if you are using lower quality printers, like desktop printers. So they are fairly cheap if you are just using plastic. If you go to metals or to other material, they get expensive fairly quickly. So when you design, you should try to design either smaller things or things that use less material. Right?
I would like to ask another question about distribution of those materials. Is there any distributors in Lithuania that are selling?
For materials?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a few.
What kind?
We've bought materials both directly from manufacturers and from distributors in Lithuania, like Jautis, UAB, and there are a few others.
You told the expectations for 3D printing are actually higher when we can deliver. Can you name main problems? Why is it so?
Yeah, so 3D printing has been like really quite a big buzzword recently. So for instance, a field that is being covered a lot in the media is bioprinting, which prints biomaterial, and there have been researches where they 3D printed a kidney or similar things. And these things are still at a very kind of scientific stage, so it's not yet possible to commercially do it. But sometimes these expectations it's expected that these things are already available and that next year you will be, placing your kidney using that. And as well as I told, these projects like 3D printing houses. Right? It's a very interesting project, but it still takes 3 years to print that house, so it's more an experiment, not an actual thing. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.